Hello and welcome to Talk Motivation with your host Elvis Eckardt, former pro athlete turned business owner, motivating you to achieve personal growth, form new habits, and find happiness in your career and life. Without further ado, let's jump right into today's episode.
Hello everybody, believe it or not, but I am still Elvis Eckardt and your host of Talk Motivation. I started the podcast when we first went into isolation here in the UK in April 2020 and really enjoy bringing episodes to you which give you, well, hopefully some food for thought. Make sure to visit our website www.elvis-eckert.com/podcast where you can subscribe to the show on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts and other sources, so you will never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in the show, I'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would be much appreciated too. So welcome to episode 15. A bit of a different one today, but nevertheless hopefully plenty of added value. Many of you know by now that I own and run my own recruitment and HR business. Over the past years, I've done a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of hiring. And one of the things that becomes more and more important, and rightly so, is the topic of diversity and inclusion. I have a 3-year-old daughter at home who doesn't have a clue what her daddy does for a living, but I promised myself that I use the power I have in the roles I've been given to make a change when it comes to diversity and inclusion. I want my baby girl to have the same chance to get a job than any other person on this wonderful planet of ours, without unconscious bias. So today, I want to give you an overview of the difference between diversity and inclusion and follow up with 10 benefits of workplace diversity and inclusion. So what is workplace inclusion? Well, workplace inclusion refers to a workplace where people with varying characteristics are included in the company culture. An inclusive workplace welcomes and even more so reinforces employees who vary in characteristics such as age, gender, ethnicity, language, physical ability, culture, religion, education, or sexual orientation, and others. Many people think that diversity and inclusion are the same, but there's a difference between diversity and inclusion. The terms are sure related and usually also used in the same context. It is important, though, to understand the difference between them. Diversity is about differences, and inclusion is about embracing those differences. Diversity is often used in the context of hiring diverse candidates. But what do you do once you get people who are different into your company? This is when inclusion comes in. Inclusion is the action your company takes at creating a workplace culture where all differences are welcomed, accepted, and most importantly, appreciated. So I'll say this loud and clear. Don't just give diverse candidates a seat at the table. Give them a voice and listen actively to them. So what benefits can it have for your company when you embrace workplace diversity and inclusion? Encouraging a diverse and inclusive workplace has a direct and tangible effect on your company's bottom line. Companies with a diverse workforce and inclusive workplace outperform its peers and engineer greater profits. It is a serious competitive advantage. So let's have a look at 10 benefits of workplace diversity and inclusion. Number 1, diversity in the workplace guarantees a variety of different perspectives. Employees who have different characteristics and backgrounds are also more likely to have a variety of different skills and experiences. This is highly beneficial when it comes to planning and executing a business strategy. Number 2, diversity in the workplace leads to a much higher innovation rate. According to a Deloitte survey, inclusive companies are a whopping 1.7 times more likely to be innovative leaders in their markets. Employees who are exposed to multiple perspectives and worldviews often come together in novel ways, opening doors to innovation. Number 3, exposure to such a variety of worldviews leads to increased creativity. Put your diverse stuff in a room together and you are more likely to get a melting pot of fresh new ideas, thus improving the creativity of your full workforce. Number 4, diversity in the workplace leads to a better decision making. A white paper from Cloverpot has found a direct link between workplace diversity and decision making. This research showed that when diverse teams made a business decision, they outperformed individual decision makers up to 87% of the time. 87%, that's a hell of a lot. These diverse teams come up with more solutions, which lead to more informed and improved decision-making processes and results.
You are listening to Talk Motivation, the podcast where you get your weekly dose of motivation. Now back to your host, Elvis Eckardt.
Welcome back to the show. Before the break, we had a look at the first 4 benefits of diversity in the workplace. In part 2, we have a look at an additional 6 benefits. Number 5, diversity in the workplace leads to faster problem solving. A Harvard Business Review found that diverse teams are able to solve problems much faster than cognitively similar people. Employees from diverse backgrounds have different experiences and views as mentioned before, which is why they are able to bring diverse solutions to the table. Hence, the best solution can be chosen sooner, which leads to faster problem solving. Number 6, diversity in the workplace leads to higher employee engagement. Another Deloitte study. Deloitte is not sponsoring this, by the way, but they really should. A Deloitte study captured the views and experiences of 1,550 employees in 3 large Australian businesses operating in manufacturing, retail, and healthcare. This research showed clearly that engagement is an outcome of diversity and inclusion. It is pretty straightforward. When employees feel included, they are more engaged. Number 7, diversity in the workplace leads to increased profits. McKinsey & Company conducted research that included 180 companies in France, Germany, the United Kingdom, and the United States. They found that the companies with more diverse top teams were also top financial performers, outperforming the less diverse teams. Companies with a diverse workforce make better decisions faster, which gives them an advantage over their peers. They also achieve better business results and reap more profits. Number 8, diversity in the workplace leads to a better company reputation. Promoting diversity in the workplace makes companies stand out. They're seen as good, more human, and socially responsible, and it creates a better reputation for the whole brand. A diverse workforce will make it easier for many different people to relate to your company, and your brand will open doors to new markets, customers, and partner companies. Number 9, diversity in the workplace leads to a reduced employee turnover. Diversity and inclusion in the workplace cause all employees to feel accepted and valued. When employees feel accepted and valued, they are happier on their place of work and stay longer with a company. As a result, companies with greater diversity in the workplace have a much higher employee retention rate. Committing to diversity and employees creates a sense of belonging to the company. Last but not least, number 10, diversity in the workplace leads to improved hiring results. Workplace diversity is a very beneficial asset for attracting the top talent from diverse talent pools. According to a Glassdoor survey, 67% of job seekers said a diverse workforce is important when considering job offers. Now, I fully understand that an inclusive workplace takes some effort and time, and that companies have to align their diversity and inclusion strategy with clearly defined goals. There are some things that can hold a company back, like budgetary issues. Your company might fight for survival in the current gig economy, or your middle management fails to execute diversity programs. However, kicking things off can be fairly easy peasy. All you have to do initially is to ask your employees. Make sure you take the specific needs of each underrepresented group into consideration. Listen actively to their needs. Don't just hear what you want to hear, and start from there. I will do another episode soon where I want to give you 10 immediately actionable workplace ideas. So keep your eyes out on social media or check in with the podcast once in a while. And on this note, I want to finish this week's episode. Thanks for listening to Talk Motivation. If you enjoyed this week's episode, please share the love and let your network know about it. Thank you so much for making this one of your favorite podcasts. Please do go and subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes, because it helps others to find the show, or better yet, just tell your family, friends and acquaintances about it. Everyone really who just loves a bit of positivity. Feel free to also connect with me on LinkedIn, and we can take the conversation there.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Talk Motivation with your host, Elvis Eckardt. To listen to this episode again and to find previous episodes, search Talk Motivation on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts. Sayonara, muchachos!